Welcome to the BetCast, powered by Betsoft. Today, we are touching base on the other side of the business, specifically on the role of the account managers in this industry. Our guest today is Jake, who is with Betsoft. Thank you for coming, Jake.
Thanks for having me.
Jake is an experienced account manager in the iGaming world. First of all, how are you?
Doing very well. Yeah, very excited. First podcast.
Yeah.
And happy to be here and share stuff that I've learned throughout the years as well.
Have you been in a podcast before?
Never. So excuse me if I'm a little bit jittery.
Yeah. What about like interviews for
I had an
iGaming
interview at Sigma for Love in Malta, but
Yeah.
it was just very much like Kendrick or Drake or Ronaldo or Messi and all those.
Okay, fair enough. That was like 2 years ago, no?
Must have been, yeah. Yeah, the last one.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it on Instagram actually. Yeah.
You saw me pop up.
Yeah, besides all like hundreds of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the World Cup was happening like
Exactly, yeah. So that's why there was all these questions, and that
Yeah.
beef just started, that rap beef. So it's all very fresh.
Yeah, so it was pretty fresh on the market. Well, it's good to know that you're into rap scene, no?
I mean, yeah, I like all types of music. I collect vinyls.
Yeah.
So mainly my heart is with rock music. That's thanks to my hippie uncle back in the day.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, we go out to Carbook, collect vinyls, and yeah, just like anything that makes me sort of tap my foot, you know.
I'm mostly into rap music.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not opposed to anything else, you know. I listen pretty much everything, you know.
Let's share some
Any
Maltese
90s song, probably I would
Yeah.
know, you know.
You know
so
any
it's-
Maltese rap?
No, actually.
Yeah.
For a fact, I didn't even know that you guys have rappers here.
We had one back in the day called Hooligan, and yeah, just very, very trashy sort of rap lyrics as well.
No, don't talk about that. he's gonna find it tomorrow.
Yeah, with a name like Hooligan, I'm scared.
You want a
know?
diss track now? All right. Well, let's touch, you know, a little bit of your background. You know, how exactly did you start to get into gaming industry?
Yeah, I mean, since I was young, I've always really enjoyed sports. I'm a Chelsea supporter, unfortunately, and always liked F1, boxing, MMA, just everything, really. So to be in an environment that involves that in my sort of work day, you know, if you work 40 hours a week, you want to be doing something near to what you love. It made sense, so I kept applying for Betfair, and they declined me the first time, but I kept on applying and applying. And yeah, eventually I got it. Really enjoyed it and sort of went through the ranks there as well. So it was nice. The floor is like televisions all around you, all these different sports, and I was in heaven. You know, it was great for me. So I get to do my job, watch sports at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that the sort of romanticism of that didn't last too long, just because with all the queries that would come up with sports, it's never as black and white as casino.
Yeah.
You know, so if something happens in like horse racing where there's a dead heat and all these things could go wrong, and as a result, you know, would cause a bit of a strain on the system, on the bets, on the people, on the chat. So yeah, that's why I started moving a bit more into casino side of things.
Yeah.
It just made a bit more sense, really. Started working in VIP, in the B2C side as well, with a few companies. And yeah, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed that because I'd still get to go to like sporting events with clients, keep them loyal to the company, entertain them as well.
Yeah.
So the move then to go to B2B was very organic as well, because it's a very similar kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping players sort of dedicated to the site, you're keeping them dedicated to your content and promoting it and so on as well. So that's basically my journey in a nutshell.
Yeah. How long have you been actually, like, you know, how much of experience do you have in years, like, let's say, in iGaming industry?
Just shy of 10 now, so exactly 9,
really?
yeah. So I did about 3 years with Betfair, a couple years with Genesis, Parry Play, now Betsoft.
Yeah. How long with Betsoft?
2 years now.
2 years.
2 years,
Yeah.
happily 2 years. Yeah.
Happily 2 years. Yeah. Still happy?
Still happy, yeah, exactly. I only left Parry Play maybe about a few months in, because when the opportunity came for Betsoft, it's just hard to say no, really.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, it's remote working. They used to use Disney animators as well. So it's something that me and my wife quite enjoy a lot, watching Disney movies.
Yeah.
So it was just an easy sell for me, really. And yeah, the company's fully remote.
Yeah.
And despite that, despite the fact that, my boss and my colleagues are mostly in different countries, it still feels like there's a sense of togetherness. It's
Yeah.
a family, a business. We all work to help each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice when you have that sort of common understanding and goal in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. For those that aren't familiar with what account manager does, can you explain like what's like primal like responsibilities of account manager?
Definitely. I mean, the main thing is to maintain a good relationship with your clients. The clients being the operators, which our jargon, look after all of the brands, the URLs, like Casino A and Casino B, and whatever you want to call it. So essentially, it's maintaining a good relationship with them, highlighting our games as much as we can, trying to maintain a share of wallet from the actual brands that we work with, run promotions, which is good for everyone because the operators get to keep the players engaged.
Yeah.
We get to put people over to our games, which we're very confident will work for the clients as well. So yeah, it's a win-win really when we do these types of things. So as much as we can to work the brands, lately we've been working a lot with custom games, putting the company's logos and putting a bit of a touch of the company on the games.
Yeah.
Tournaments, like I said, take the prize, the spinning wheel. As much as we can to keep the clients engaged, essentially, as I covered.
And what would you say is the key to managing relationships, effectively with your clients?
It's a good question. I think the main thing, I remember when I was working with Parry Play, like I used to be on the other side of things. I used to get taken out by clients as well.
Yeah.
And it felt like it didn't feel very natural. It didn't feel like this person took me out to get to know me. They'd ask me questions, what sports you're into, where did you travel to? It just didn't feel, I felt like I was being worked, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
So I meet my clients with the best of intentions to get to know them as a person, and this is genuine from my end. I'm a big people's person, and yeah, from there, then we'll touch a bit of business,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's sort of the main thing. Like I look at my wedding, like I had so many of my clients come to my wedding as well,
Oh, really?
partners. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
because they're good mates. I think it's good to be mates first and then,
fair
work as
enough.
it's different if you're like a manager, but in this case, you're partners, you work together,
See, for example, I personally, never wanted or, for example, didn't like to mix up, business and personal life. But ever since, I've stepped foot in, iGaming, industry, it's kind of it just comes natural with it, right?
Yeah, and plus, don't forget, we're in Malta. There's not a lot
True.
to do here, apart
Yes,
from
yeah.
apart from go play paddle or squash or something,
You play paddle?
No, I don't.
No? Fair enough.
This is not a paddle man's body. But no, I mean, there's not an awful lot to do here. I mean, it's a lovely place to be. It's loads of history and beaches, and it's always good climate as well.
Yeah.
But I can't hop in my car and go see mountains or go for a really
Fair
nice long
enough,
hike.
yeah.
So yeah, for the most part, it's just going out eating and drinking because unfortunately we do have a lot of nice places to go eat and drink. Here, which is the plus
Fair
side
enough.
of it all.
Yeah, and not a lot of, drinking control when you're driving too. But that's fair enough.
Coming from a Maltese man, they didn't really clamp
Which
down
was
on
kind
that
of
too
weird
hard.
to me, because I mean, in Croatia we really have regular checkups, like even like midweek, like if it's, I don't know, a holiday tomorrow, people tend to go out and drink,
Yeah.
and then like drink and drive, it's never a good combination, and then like, I'm worried, like I had like one beer, it's not gonna do anything to me, like look at the size of me,
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly. You need at least like
but I'm
5.
still thinking, what if they fucking pull me over?
Yeah.
And they're like, they're not gonna do anything. Like they don't do that, And I stumble upon like a couple of times on like Transport Malta, but they are doing checkups for taxi drivers, which I didn't know, because
Well,
they
in
have.
case they're inebriated or they drunk too much.
No, they're actually like checking, I guess, insurance and
Okay.
like if the everything is like
About
up
time.
to standard or they have too many passengers in the car or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they check your registration and like if
They
you
put
if you
like
don't have it, they
two
just
people in the boot. And
yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, and what do you think like are the most common challenges as an account manager? Like, how do you handle like, for example, customer retention, client retention? My bad, customer. I'm thinking for customer experience.
I mean, essentially, they are
Yeah,
customers.
yeah,
Yeah, retention is a big topic. I think everyone really feels the strain of retention as
yeah.
well, especially like aggregation is feeling a bit of the strain of that as well, and other platforms and such. But yeah, nowadays there's so many suppliers out there as well, and there a lot of them are coming with and undercutting the rates and everything, and thus everyone else has to come down and follow
Yeah.
suit on that regard. Which makes things a bit more challenging as well, but at the same time, it opens up some opportunities to get a bit creative.
Yeah.
Offer good games at more discounts and try and get more out of you can out of the deal that you have as well. Like a lot of people use bonus caps to try and increase, leverage essentially how much the operators can highlight the content, thus you sort of getting more exposure out there as
Yeah.
well. So that is a big challenge. There's no real answer to it. You do what you can.
Yeah.
You provide your support as much as we can. Much to the dismay of our head of marketing over there, I do often ask the clients that if they need any help with any type of marketing content,
Yeah.
banners, custom banners and such. I always offer that to help try and take the strain off them, and they're often very happy with that as well, because a lot of these operators that are coming out and starting up are very limited on resources,
Yeah.
very much so. So they can't build their own platform. They utilize aggregators. They don't have a lot of financial backing.
Yeah.
So they usually have like one person that does everything, head of account management, marketing, CRM, VIP,
Yeah.
So they're very high strung. So especially for those that are up and coming, and I do like to try and throw my hat in the ring and provide as much support as I
Yeah.
can. Do you need any help? We'll use our tournament tools instead of you setting one up. I'll do it for you. So just essentially just trying to be a stand-up guy for them as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah. And what about like it's been like a topic a lot lately actually, regulatory changes. Like, how do you feel about them? Like, do they make your job actually like harder?
Very much so,
Yeah?
yeah. I mean, it feels like every single country does things completely different to the next, So obviously the most difficult one are the ones that come down hard on responsible gambling, like the UKGC and the SGA as well.
Yeah.
Is that what's called the Swedish one? SGA, I think.
I believe it was.
Yeah, so many acronyms
Yeah,
nowadays.
to be fair, like it's fucking hard to remember
ONJN
all of them.
and all of these.
Yeah.
And it's obviously very difficult, and it puts a financial strain on us as well as our competitors in the market. For the reason being is you need to pay for a license certificate. You need to undergo a lot of changes with the games as well to make sure that they meet their requirements. Like Germany need an 88% RTP, which I can't get my head around, but they say jump and we say off which bridge, so.
Fair enough.
So it is difficult, as a result, we do assess every market. We see if it's still commercially feasible. Obviously, everyone will pull out some, we'll re-enter new ones. Just basically trying to follow the global trend of everything as well. Aggregators have a lot of information as to what's sort of the new hottest territory.
Yeah.
And we go by their recommendations for the most part. But some people have deep pockets, some suppliers where they can just, throw certifications in every single country, which is great, power to them. Others need to think a bit more carefully about their next steps and, be very methodical and calculated as to how they're going to enter these new territories.
Yeah.
And also for the long term, feasibility of them. Like some of them ask you to recertify your documents every 2 years. So
Yeah.
that's another cost. Is it worth doing? Is it not? What do we do with the games that are already there? So many questions.
Yeah.
It never ends really.
Yeah, to be honest, it's like a never-ending loop of
Yeah.
situations like
I feel sorry for compliance managers and stuff. I bet they're
Yeah.
just because even sometimes the information is not very straightforward.
Yeah.
You can't find anything online.
Yeah.
You can, but very
It's-
limited.
It's limited, yeah, exactly. Like, and it doesn't give you a lot of information that you actually need for the changes
Yeah,
themselves,
That's
so,
the thing.
yeah.
Like someone came up to me and said, "Hey, let's go into Latvia and Lithuania," and I'm thinking, okay. Should we? Is it worthwhile? Or
Yeah, that's fair enough.
a lot of questions.
Yeah. Do account managers work closely with game development? Let's say even at Betsoft right now, but do you guys like actually like? I mean, I've been here like for 2 months right
Yeah.
now, right? So I've been only at one game testing so far,
Yeah.
and it seemed fun. But do you guys like actually get to give your opinions in? And
We definitely do. Yeah, it's. I think it's really important that the ones who are essentially in charge of selling the games and the ones who are creating the games have a clear sort of dialogue and regular meetings, which is what we do with our team as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the main decision is always going to come from higher up, but we do get to put our 2 cents in. We have our meetings. Nathan, who you've met, is very, very critical of the games. He's always got fantastic insight as to what he likes, what he doesn't like, stuff that I wouldn't even thought about, like the music loops or certain sounds, or it's stuff that really gets you thinking. Will the customer like this as well? But yeah, I mean, for the most part, we try and just go off what's successful. If a game like our coin series as well has been doing really well, we assess that and we try and build on its success as well. Last time we were talking about Q1 releases actually I shouldn't go into that.
Well, Billy started sweating there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, we've released 4 coins of games right now. I think the main concern is some people have is, auto cannibalization or self cannibalization of the games as well. Like you see with certain pragmatic games as well, utilizing same math models and such. So it's hard to say. So far, it's sort of worked in our favor. So we'll continue following that until it doesn't and try and find the next best thing. I think it's difficult to reinvent the wheel in this industry, but you can take that wheel and make changes to it and improve it as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it should also help now that we are also touching bases with like streamers, and their community. We get a lot of feedback actually.
Yeah, I want to ask you on the streamers actually, because you know more about this than I do as well. In terms of like the future of iGaming as well, do you see it being? Because a lot of people are glued to their phone. A lot of people are watching podcast streamers, influencers, Instagram. Do you heavily think, like, for the next generation of people using casinos, that's going to be all of it, a big chunk of it, or?
Absolutely. So I mean, I've personally been into streaming business alone for probably more than 7 years now. Right about when I finished high school, actually, I started watching like YouTubers, streams and stuff like that. Because before that, I was into basketball, so I didn't like spend time on the phone too much, But at that point, when I started like exploring, platforms, YouTube, Twitch, and stuff like this, there wasn't like a lot of gambling streamers back then, and even the few that there was, it wasn't really like the most popular title to be followed, But again, just because there were few of them, at that time, there was a lot of viewers, It wasn't like maybe a few hundred; it was thousands.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't oversaturated.
And I mean, back then I remember even casinos were like, fuck streamers, Why would we go with them, Today. Like, and was the most craziest thing. Like, it still didn't reach its peak,
Yeah, They're
it still
just-
didn't like get on like on the moon. It still didn't like lift off yet. Just started, which is crazy when you think about it, because there is already so many streamers right now in the market.
Yeah, because
Not only
gaming streamers have been
Yeah.
years going on for
Yeah,
years
exactly,
before this.
exactly. And the gambling streams are just being explored right now as an
Yeah.
option. You see a lot of streamers who are or content creators in that sense that you've been watching when you were a kid, or younger or whatever, who's been gaming like Call of Duty or something like this, games basically, are now streaming gambling
Yeah.
as well.
Did the casino thing blow up at the same time the mukbang thing came out as well, or was that like around the same time? You know what I mean? The eating thing on the stream.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I remember first it started mainly people playing video games and streaming, and then there was people just chatting with their streams, like a bit like how, I don't know, XQC does a lot of it and a few others.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it's been a mix-up with YouTubers and then live streamers, right? So you had like somebody who used to like only do YouTube that would do like vlogs, right? Like or just record himself, talking about something or whatever. And then he gets to the opportunity like where, okay, let's explore live streaming, right?
Yeah.
And then he would do a live stream, and because he already has an audience that watches him, or her or whatever, they would actually like be, okay, like this guy's actually just chatting with her and like has 10,000 people. Let me try that, Like you see that from somebody else, right?
Yeah.
They try it, and it turns out to be a success,
Yeah, and
So-
I suppose they're converting a lot of their viewers into, they push them over to the casino in a way
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. I
because-
mean, to be fair, like if somebody's been like a gamer for 7 years and been creating content and whatever else, and maybe he was underage when he started,
Yeah.
And then like after 7 years, I mean, at a certain point you're gonna be 18 or whatever's
I'd hope so, yeah.
whatever's considered legal for your country,
Yeah.
to like be gambling or whatever, So does your viewers as well, That's why people like get into crypto, they got into sports betting, they got into gambling at the end of the day,
Yeah,
And I mean, to be fair, thanks God, casinos are actually opening, their doors for it, a lot.
yeah, very much so.
And it's crazy because the more creative you get, the better, Because if you come up as a streamer or a content creator or whatever, with some crazy idea that you might want to do, and they love it, somebody's also crazy enough to listen to it,
Yeah.
and they love it, it's gonna lift off.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And it's good for the casino, it's good for the streamer.
It's good for everyone, and
Yeah.
it's like the next generation of gamblers as well. Because coming back from my time to VIP as well, most of the people were well in their 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
They've accumulated the wealth, they have disposable income,
Yeah.
and they enjoy using the casinos. They've already quite well off, and then they utilize their additional. Their additional funds to be able to use casinos as
Yeah.
well. And that age group doesn't really watch streamers. This is more
Yeah.
the teens, the 20s, the 30s as well, sort
Yeah.
of the up-and-coming ones as well. So it's a very interesting time, I think. And I remember when I was young as well watching streamers, and my mom always used to tell me, it's like, why are you watching someone else play the game? Why don't you play the
But,
game?
to be fair, that's, like, I was speaking about this earlier, actually, today. Whatever for our parents was television shows, that's what it is for this generation, for us, like streaming, right? That's entertainment for us.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, who does watch TV anymore, to be fair?
not me.
Right? Because you have these streamers like going live for, I don't know, 7 days, nonstop. They sleep on stream, they wake up on stream, they shower on stream,
Yeah, their whole life. is a
yeah,
stream.
literally like the whole day is on stream,
Yeah.
And like they do it really good. They have their own production as well, and everything else. And like the turnover rate is insane, actually.
It is. It really is. Like, Yeah, because even your other stream with Gamducks as well, they were speaking
Yeah.
about Steve will do it as well, and he initially started out as like, I don't know, prank content and all this
Yeah.
very lewd.
Steve will do it literally like down a 2-liter bottle of vodka and then ended up in the hospital.
That guy is crazy.
Like,
But then when he started doing the online gambling, and he has a massive crowd, they all
course,
started going
yeah.
to FanDuel and all these
Yeah.
other DraftKings and all these American sites as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see how they convert those into sort of our industry as well. It's like two worlds colliding as
It
such,
is.
isn't it?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, to be honest, it's only becoming like a trend right now in the iGaming space, It's, but as I said, like, it's still not reached its peak yet, which is like pretty, I don't know if it's, like, if I dare to say, but I think it's scary to actually expect what it's gonna be once it reaches its peak, Because, I mean, at that point, like, pretty much anybody who's, what we call a micro streamer with, I don't know, 50, 100 live viewers, is going to be considered a good way for casino to market itself, no?
Yeah,
'Cause,
exactly.
I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that as well. I mean, you obviously work with streamers a lot, and we need to obviously pick and choose. A lot of them come out with their own controversies as well throughout what they do. And I think it's difficult to be in the public eye, do what you have to do, and the fact that you have money and fame now as well, obviously you're going to indulge in things that may not be
Exactly.
considered,
Yeah.
acceptable by the real world.
True. It's bringing like a lot of money into, like, because I mean, I personally know friends who started streaming. For example, we have this guy in Croatia who is a streamer. I'm not going to market him for free, but
Pay us.
exactly, work with us, man. But he's been like, I guess GTA, or just let's call him a YouTuber, And once he started streaming live, and he always has this concept of like playing games, so he keeps it still 100 what it was before he started gambling,
Mm-hmm.
But then after midnight, when the kids go to sleep, he starts gambling, right? And there is a fair amount of people still staying watch that,
Yeah.
And then like 2 years into it, not even 2 years, I think 1 year into it, he got his dream car. Just from it, playing casino games, marketing.
That's
it,
crazy, yeah. And
when you think of it, like, that's within a year, right? He was making a fair amount of money with YouTube before that, but this is what, switched him, because I know him personally. He would not buy a car if, it was all his money that he had. Obviously, if you buy a car like that, you have to insurance it, you have to do everything else with it, you have to take care of it, like that cost, you need to maintain it, and I mean, for him to get that car, or to be able to get the car, and keep like maintaining it, everything else means he's earning a good amount of money.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not only buying the car as well.
Exactly.
Like some cars here, you have to pay $1,000 every year just to bloody license the thing as well.
It's true. I don't know how much worth of it is it's like to get a Lamborghini here, though. I mean,
No.
where are you gonna drive it?
I drive a '91 Suzuki Samurai.
I drive Mazda Demio.
Yeah, man.
We bought,
That's good as
me
well.
and my fiance bought the car like last year, and like it's still. The only thing that's fucking bothering me is I don't know how, but I managed to, spend my tires completely almost,
Yeah.
They're almost finished right now. Now, like, man, the fucking, road has to be so fucking hot when, they melted off half of my tires.
No way.
Like, I'm
In
like,
the summer.
yeah. Because, I mean, I've been driving a lot, like, from Riga to the city, so it's not, let's say, a short ride, but it's also like a small island, so it's not too far.
I'm pretty sure they'll melt just being parked up as well with the heat and
True,
mold.
on the temperatures, yeah, definitely. Well, since we're talking, about trending in streams, how do you see it affecting player acquisition strategies?
Player position strategies.
No, player acquisition strategies.
Sorry?
Acquisition.
Acquisition
Yeah.
strategies. In what sense, sorry?
So are operators like leveraging streamers more in their marketing efforts?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, when you have a live streamer, you're expecting him, especially if he's on some sort of a deal, you're expecting that him being a live streamer is going to bring in bring in more players,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, I don't know how that works with account management or
Yeah, I mean, for us, not so much. I mean, I can see that sort of having an effect when it comes to affiliates as well, which is another world that I've never worked with as well. I don't know too much, but they're involved a lot with player acquisition.
yeah,
And from what we've seen, sort of working with streamers as well, it's definitely helped sort of
yeah,
boost our visibility on the site as well. But yeah, the future of when it comes to sort of player acquisition with streamers, I don't know too much about that. I think that's a conversation between streamer and operator as well. And
yeah,
then after that conversation, that's when we sort of jump in and try and obviously put our quality content in front of the player. I
yeah,
think that's for the most part, the way I see it working at least.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough. I mean, and it's been like also like really hard now because I don't know what it is, but everybody's starting to opening up like their own, like being a game provider. Like it's literally like there are 2 3 new ones every month. And they're just like kicking out games like crazy.
Yeah.
And for me, for example, what I hate the most is like seeing an operator like or a game provider like putting out 2 3 games a week. I don't think it's good personally.
You have some that put out 20 to 25 games a month as well, you
That's
know.
crazy.
It is crazy.
I don't see it makes sense.
No, and the most part, like I find it annoying as well, is they're sort of we only put out one or two a month. You
Yeah.
know, we're not
And
ones that
to
are
be fair, I
factory.
think that's good.
I think I mean, I much prefer quality over quantity for
Quantity,
sure.
exactly, yeah.
And yeah, essentially, if you have 3 or 4 suppliers that are putting out all this content as
Yeah.
well, the rest of us, the other 80, 100 as well, that are putting out 1, 2, or 3,
Yeah.
you know, it really blocks up the channel for us as well. And that's the shame, really, because that new category on operator sites is the most valuable, I think,
It
as
is,
well,
yeah.
because you don't have to pay anything for it with some people, and yeah, it's shelling out the new content and putting it there. But then when you have, I don't know, someone releasing 2 more games, and we have to go further down the list as well, it's hard for us to make a statement, you know, at all.
Yeah.
So that's where the difficulty lies. Of course, we try and get creative as much as possible as account
course,
managers
yeah.
to try and leverage our way around the site as well. So trying to create games that fall into specific categories so that we can fill in other areas of the site as
Yeah.
well.
Are there any like new trends in the iGaming business right now that you can see like sort of helping you with account management or like maybe in the future?
Trends.
Like I don't know, maybe does AI do you see AI helping you
I
out in the
mean,
future?
yeah, I mean, what really it boils down to is numbers. You know, how has this game performed and why has it performed that well?
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. I know a lot of operators like to use AI
Yeah.
for their positioning for certain containers. Like I always ask them, "Can I get in here?" It's like, "No, that's all AI." I was like, "How do I?"
Really?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah. It's very, very popular with quite a few operators as well.
How long has it been now that they're
At
actually
least 2 years. A
Really?
few people have been using AI.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been talked a lot
Yeah.
or mentioned a lot.
The-
And I think it's important to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean the technology. I don't know too much about it, but essentially, it still comes down to stuff like average spins and average
Yeah.
play time as well. So, the more you can get your games visible, the more people will play it, and then the more AI will probably pick it up as well. So it always comes full circle as well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess it kind of helps with marketing, though, the AI, but I mean, that's just ChatGPT. So, I mean, you cannot, it's just like helps you to sort of navigate your creativeness. You still have to give him some points and directions, for him to give you an idea for something or whatever.
This is true. I think AI could help us in putting out certain games in certain regions a bit
Yeah.
more because whilst we have a lot of games, and if, for example, in certain regions you only have, I don't know, some big players playing the games, it can really skew the results. So getting a bit more of an informative computing engine in there to work out what's the best game for the best country for the best period would really help a lot.
Yeah. That's
Fruit
the
fly,
fly.
yeah.
Proteins, I guess.
Protein.
Okay. Let's talk about strategies, right? I mean, you've been on, let's say, both sides of business to business and business to customer, right? What's sort of like strategies that you've seen that are working really well right now in the iGaming industry, besides like live streaming, obviously, for player retention and
Yeah.
stuff like this?
I mean, network promotions is a big one.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of time in the sun with Betsoft doing this. We had a period as well, Billy remembers it very well, where we were churning them out very frequently, and they did so well for us as well. And we always try to change it up as well, add more games, add less games, make it a longer period, a shorter period. So yeah, and we gathered feedback, and that's something we did as well. Of course, any operator would be, well, most operators would be quite forthcoming if we tell them we're putting up this amount of our own money. You know,
Yeah.
says yes, yes. You know, they open the floodgates and let us in. So it's obviously very nice, and it allows people to remain quite loyal to their brands as well.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I think game innovation as well is massive as well. But I think this is something that you need to be quite careful with. From my time in aggregation, I've seen a lot of people do a lot of different things with games. I've seen slots on the watch, the smartwatch as well.
Really?
Yeah, optimized for the.
Apparently, there is like this new trend, casino on Telegram.
Yes, Telegram Casino is very popular.
I haven't stumbled upon one yet, but I'm not even sure how it works.
I think I've got one coming in, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not entirely sure how it works. I know there's a community, and they all speak on Telegram as well, and there's still going to be a main site, and I think they just get given free spins and bonuses through the Telegram
No.
chat.
Apparently, there is like a whole algorithm being put in, like that. Actually, there's
so
going
not
to be
like
slots.
a social casino. The casino is on
but
Telegram.
Yeah.
Wow.
Casino on Telegram, actually, like because there is like a point like where you can like implement a command,
Like a plugin.
yeah, and then on a certain, I don't know, message or whatever, they get to spend whatever they want, right? And I'm completely confused by it. I heard it like maybe a few weeks ago about it, first time. And then like when I asked people who talked about it, when I asked them like, do you think this is going to like be something, and they were like, we can't really know.
Yeah, it's still very new.
Yeah, because
I'll get to you about that because I had one that was implementing it, but I'm still not yet to see it yet. But
yeah.
it sounds very interesting, and I like it when people try and do new things as well. I mean, another thing I saw was this fella had a whole warehouse filled with. Have you ever seen the penny pushers? Have you ever been to the fair or whatever, and there's these machines, you put a penny in, it comes out, and it pushes it.
Yes. Yeah,
pushes
yeah,
it
yeah.
to another level. Here's a warehouse filled with these, and they all have cameras on them. And then from your home, you press a button, and a penny gets released somewhere in, I don't know.
No way.
Yeah, and yeah, it's all live. You
That's
see it all
addictive
happening.
as hell,
It's
probably.
fantastic because I love those machines as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's the cheapest form of gambling.
Yeah,
So.
to be honest, yeah.
And yeah, it looked great. It's I'm not sure how well it's doing. I've left the company since then, but yeah, a lot of people like these ideas. There's a whole bunch of operators that welcome new content as well. One company in particular actually had a position which is chief of untraditional content, or head of untraditional content. So they
Really?
actually have a person that goes out and find stuff that isn't your average slot or crash game,
Do you think that's smart?
Yes and no. There's obviously a winning formula to slots.
Yeah.
And to table games and to everything as well. So that's obviously going to be king for a while, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that as all suppliers have to coexist together.
Yeah.
So if a site only has 1-2 suppliers, Will that brand be successful? Probably not. It's good
Yeah.
for a player to go from us to Hacksaw, Wasdam, Prague, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice to have options, and yeah, that's why I heavily believe that as suppliers we do need to coexist in this space.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, going to the untraditional content, I think, yeah, there will be new things. There will be new enhancements to it as well. Like instant win, I think Crash Game was one of the last biggest things, which is very popular in Africa. Instant win, which is like mines and everything.
Yeah.
Very popular. So yeah, I think there's more to come.
Yeah. Do you? I'm trying to calculate the question in my head now. I'm pretty confused. So obviously, like when you're a game provider, right, and you have an insight to certain stuff, right? So it's like mostly like data, like statistics and stuff like this, right? Do you use like, especially with your clients, do you use those data to sort of help them guide for certain, I don't know, strategies or whatever?
Yeah, I would say so as well. I mean, we use the data from any types of positioning, any type of historical ups and downs that we've had as well. So obviously, summer is one of the least performing months
Yeah.
in casinos and iGaming industry as a whole. So those periods, you'd have to pick and choose, you know, would I want to spend money to go in a dry period
Yeah.
to make it better than last year, or will it be more fortuitous to go in, I don't know, in September when the football starts, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a host of data at our disposal as well to be able to pick our battles and choose them in the right.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like, is this the hill you want to die on as well? That's the term Fernando likes to use a lot when we look at sort of promotions.
Shout out Fernando.
Yeah, shout out. So that's one I hear him say all the time, and even when I assess my clients individually
Yeah.
and think about how to approach it, I always hear him in the back of my head. Is this the hill you want to die on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still like kind of learning this side of the business as well, you know, because I've been on casino side of the business, you know, for a few years and stuff, you know. So this is like all these terms and everything else is really new to me. But for example, Fernando really makes it easier for me to understand this, and I think that's really important too, you know, because I have a feeling, you know, when those weekly meetings happen and stuff, you know, I'm not talking a lot about anything, you know, but I still get included in some way. So does Billy, you know, who, you know, we are not account managers, you know, we are not, you know, we don't know how you guys work and what do you work and how does your day-to-day will look like, you know. But I think it's important to be a part of that, you know.
I agree, and I think you guys are very important to the company as well. Cause,
Thank you.
Yeah, because we have a lot to learn from you about the whole influencer and streamer side of things as well. Because it is new, it is booming hard, and it's good for us to get ahead of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, marketing. Without marketing, we can't do nothing. You know, we can't get our voice out there and get our nice colors and designs and animations. You know, and put pen to paper.
True.
So it's a machine, you know, and there's a lot of different cogs to it.
Yeah, yeah. You said you've been watching live streams before, like gaming, you know. How about like gambling? Are you like getting into it now, or?
Yeah, I've always liked to have a little gamble here and there as well, you know, when on the football or on the UFC. I love gambling on the UFC because it's I've been watching it for ages.
Yeah.
So I have won a little bit from it as well, but you know, the house always tends to win in my case as well. I'm not a seasoned gambler. But I mean, Betfair is a good site that I like to use just because they have the exchange. I'm not sure if you know much about the exchange of Betfair.
Not really familiar with it.
It's basically players betting against players, and then whoever wins, Betfair takes a cut of their winning.
Oh, so like a seating fee.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like an exchange. So I say Tyson Fury is going to beat this guy at 2-1. I say he's going to lose. I'll match your odds at 2-1. Bet has formed. Winner will get a cut from Betsoft.
Oh.
Betfair, sorry. So yeah.
We do not have that yet.
Yeah, not yet. So yeah, that I like doing that because it's like a stock market for every single event. So that's a fun way, I think, for me to bet. And yeah, I will often have a little gamble on different people's games, see what's hot, see what I don't like, you know, because it's very up for interpretation. I think the likes and dislikes. So whatever games perform for us, they do so for a reason, because we've sort of done the track work and the investigations and the numbers and everything, the artwork, the math, you know. And yeah, that's what's really important. Like math is something that we've improved a lot throughout the years as well. It was a big sort of pain point for us. And I think we've found the sweet spot in getting the right people, trying games. Some didn't work, some did, you know. As with everything, it's trial and error, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, now I'm in the position, you know, where like I take care of like streaming inquiries and stuff like this, right? But do you have ever like a client coming into saying like, I don't know, I have a live streamer and stuff, like, can you help us do something from your side? Like, what's exactly something that you can actually do from your side once we have like a live streamer working, you know, with the client?
We've had that before. To be honest, from my end, I simply just meet them and introduce them to marketing previously. Now with your introduction, we're getting a little bit more sort of trained on that world of things, which is great. I think it's, like we discussed, booming. I like to know more about it as well. We're talking about doing tournaments and such as well to get them more engaged, you know, because when we watch the gaming ones, sometimes they have people pop in, you know, with merch and everything as well. So it's a big opportunity to get our name out there as well. But maybe we should be doing more on the line of characters as opposed to, you know, the brand. I doubt most of the people that open up the games say, it's Betsoft. It must. Maybe some people do say, I'm looking for Betsoft. But I think if we use more of the characters at our disposal, the ones that we've sort of honed and made sort of household names, that will probably be more of a sort of hitting point.
Yeah, you know, I see your point, But I mean, we've had a really good feedback lately, especially like from the community, because, for example, I have the account on Kick on the platform where I watch most of the streams right now. And literally the name is Ivan/Betsoft, right? So once the people see me in the chat, they're like, "Oh my God, like Betsoft is here!" You know? Like the Betsoft guy. You know, I'm now the Betsoft guy all of a sudden. You know, and then like they start asking for the games. Like for example, is Treasures of Cleopatra, right? And they just, I don't know for what, like, because we had discussions about it, right? It's popular.
Yeah.
For streamers and for the viewers as well.
I agree, it definitely is. Because I always have some people, like I remember once our games weren't working on one of my client sites, and one of my client was showing me all the emails, and they were saying, "Why isn't Betsoft games working? I don't want to play any of the other ones and everything." Which is nice. Obviously, there's a problem, so that's something to panic about. But at the same time, it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're probably right there. But I was looking at it from my own lens, because when I used to go on the sites, I never used to look at, you know, if there's this Prague, is this Wazdan or whatever. I used to just see whatever is in the top second row.
Yeah.
Which is, as account managers, our job to do, to get that in front of people like me who never knew any better.
Fair enough. Do you think that live streaming will grow, like in terms of that it might give you like any extra responsibilities for the future as an account manager?
I definitely think so. I do see us in the future collaborating more with them as well. So at the moment we do collaborate with the operators, and we've just started scratching the surface of collaborating with a lot of streamers. Hopefully it will get to like a place where they even have their own sites as well, fully like their own as well, you know, like Casino Daddy Casino and all this, you know. So, you know, why not? Why not? It comes to that if they have a good following.
Do you think like it's like getting streamers to collaborate with us as a game provider, for example, can strengthen the relationship with the client that you have, like a casino?
Definitely, especially if they're like an exclusive streamer as well.
Yeah.
And we do have that good relationship with them as well. Yeah, I definitely think so. At the end of the day, I mean, most operators are mainly interested in ensuring they're putting the best content to their players at the best rate as well, for the most part. You know,
Yeah.
some think more about the money side of things. Some think more about the content side of things, whatever the price may be. Finding that sweet spot is always the best, to make sure they're getting a good deal, make sure we have that collaboration going, engagement tools, custom games. You put it all together, and you have a winning formula, I think.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, I mean, I just been mostly like speaking with you because, like, honestly, like I've been here 2 months, so I managed only to collect a couple of streamers, you know.
Yeah, and they all happen to work
Yeah,
with my clients.
exactly under your clients. But it's fun, once we, for example, hopped on that first call, and we were talking about doing some stuff for the streamers and stuff, and then like certain promotions that we can do, which I didn't know it was possible, which from streamers' perspective, when I sit down and think about it, it can really help lift up the content as well, which I think is really important. And not many game providers will do that, actually.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, no, a lot of game providers these days are, softest word to say is cocky. But yeah, I think it's really important, especially for the relationship between us and streamers and also us and clients, So I think it's really fun, if we can do exclusive tournaments only for streamers in his community,
That would be really cool, putting like all the streamers against each other in a tournament.
Yeah.
And obviously making the tournament fair, For example, if
Exactly.
one has more followers than other, we're not going to ask them,
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to run away with it. So something that's just mainly luck-based, tournament.
Yeah.
And yeah, putting them against each other and just having a big old stream about it, eh?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's also been like, like a little bit. I've been, it's a weird position right now for the streamers market because there's been pretty much a new streamer popping out every week.
Yeah.
And there's no formula for someone's success at the moment, 'Cause somebody can be literally, down-to-earth guy, just completely chill, not reacting to any haters or whatever, and then sits down, and people loves watching him because it's, I don't know, he has funny face expressions or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
not, he's completely like bored or on stream or something, and then people start, like, it's crazy, and I cannot guarantee anybody's success behind it, I can only do much work to like find somebody who's fresh and new, and like fingers crossed, for us and for him as well, that he pops off, and he's popular one day,
Exactly.
because we were here from the start, but it's really weird and hard, for somebody who's like a streamer's manager or whatever, to help them navigate it towards it, because you cannot, obviously you can give them suggestions, but
and most of them are quite young and still new to
Exactly,
the whole workforce, eh?
and they're only like watching others, and they can only learn about it that way,
Yeah, it's true. You have some that sort of rely on the production quality, like we spoke about Dr. Disrespect. He
Yeah.
has his own controversies, but you can't deny the production value when it goes into his streams
Of
as well.
course,
They
yeah.
look fantastic on the eye. You have his
Absolutely.
persona. I think when people relate to you as a person as well, like
Yeah.
I think Kai Cenat's got like loads. He's the biggest right now, right?
Yeah. I was watching. Sorry to cut you off, but I was watching his
Sorry.
streams this week, and like he's doing 24/7, right? Collecting like 326,000 subs, and like 20% of it is going to go towards some school in Nigeria, I think.
Yeah, just
And,
nice.
Yeah, amazing. To be fair, he's doing it for a purpose,
Mhm.
And then when he goes to sleep, he has this guy who is really popular for acting as a Miles Morales character as Spider-Man.
I think I saw on my reels.
Yeah, the guy's just standing, literally moving like a game character.
Yeah, like
you know?
what's it called, NPC?
Yeah, NPC type vibe, And I'm sitting there, and I'm like watching, and 80,000 people watching the guy sleep, and some guy, just acting as a Miles Morales, going crazy on the subs or whatever.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Miles Morales, and I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, I want to like think to myself like I'm not watching this shit,
Yeah.
But I cannot stop watching,
I know. It seems like he can't do any wrong as well. I think a lot of people are really attracted to his character as well, which is a big thing. I think if you're not a likable person, no one's going to watch you, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And obviously, he panders to a lot of different communities in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of famous people, like Nicki Minaj on and Ice Spice and all of these as well.
Yeah.
So that helps boost his numbers. So I don't see if we're like a DraftKings were to come up to him or someone and say, hey, play some casino games, that would be amazing for them. And I think
he almost actually got a deal.
Yeah,
with Stake, I believe. Yeah, I know Eddie was pursuing him. He sent him like custom-made Air Force Ones, with kick and like high on it, and he was like streaming it on Twitch actually at the moment.
And he didn't do it. Or?
No, I mean Twitch made a better deal, I guess, for him.
I'd see that as well. I think that's probably where it's going to go. Like they're just going to start looking at top 10s and try and sign them all, and then
of course,
and then once they sign them, that's sort of when suppliers come in to sort of make that collaborative effort to work with them.
Yeah. Have you managed to like see Conor McGregor actually going live on DualBits?
No, he's going.
He went live for one stream, I think, playing blackjack. Live, yeah. The guy was, oh my God, it was so funny.
I don't think anyone cares about him anymore, do they? Conor McGregor.
I wouldn't say so. I still believe, that if he decides to like fight, it's still gonna blow the pay-per-view and everything.
Definitely will. I think he'll have to soon. I'm not sure how thin that river of wealth is running as well, because
I mean, let's be honest, running a couple of companies, having music production house now as well,
I mean, he sold Proper 12, didn't he? That's gone as well. His pubs.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, he sold that about a year ago. His pub, the Black something in Ireland as well, that's becoming a chain. I think he's franchising it.
Yeah. He has beer as well, no?
Maybe has a beer. It probably tastes terrible, like as the whiskey. I've tried that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I haven't had a chance. Really?
Yeah, and I like whiskeys.
Let's hope Conor is not coming to Malta anytime soon, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He won't want to get beat.
He'll do me in. He'll do nothing.
Oh my God. Or Tyson Fury for that. He's actually
He was in Malta.
He's in Melilla, man.
Yeah, my wife's brother saw him jogging in Melilla.
Yeah.
It's madness. Makes me want to go up there.
I don't know, man. He's a pretty tall guy, but he's still not taller than me, which is funny,
So you're 6'9" as well.
Yeah.
Damn,
that's
man.
209 centimeters, yeah. So.
You got them veggies in when you were young.
Well, to be fair, I haven't grew. Like, I was probably one of the shortest guys in the class in middle school until I was 13.
Yeah.
The summer of 13, like, I actually...
Did you get, like, bad growing pains that would, like, keep you up at night as well?
No.
No?
No, actually, I was actually coping with it pretty well.
Oh, my growing pains, man, when I was a kid.
Yeah, because I grew for a summer, I grew like 20 centimeters, right?
Yeah.
And then throughout like years, I was just keeping growing like 7,
Slowly.
8, 10, centimeters per year, until I finally stopped. Hopefully, I mean, Malta is a small place.
Yeah, it's not built for you, man.
No,
you're in the wrong
man,
place.
no,
you need to go.
I mean, nothing's built for me to be
This
honest.
is true. Yeah.
Like, no car, nothing.
I mean, I struggle at 6'2". Like I can only imagine for you.
It's a struggle, especially for the clothes, man.
Yes,
because I'm not really thin, So
same, man. Yeah.
it's a struggle. All right. Now we have like a rapid fire questions.
Oof.
It's only 3, but I think
really?
good questions. Yeah.
I was expecting like 10. Like yes,
nah,
this, that.
Nah, we managed to come up with 3, but the 3 good ones, I think.
But I have 3 seconds to answer them as well.
No, you have enough time you want. You just rapid fire. Like don't think about it. Just go for it.
Cool.
All right. What's the most exciting part of being an account manager in the iGaming industry?
Relationships with the people, with my clients.
Why?
I just got to know a lot of interesting things about people. I just love meeting people. I love talking to people as well. And yeah, a lot of them are funny. A lot of them are interesting. They've got a lot of experiences throughout their lives. And, just how me and you are talking now, just getting to know so many different people in the industry as well. Sometimes making new friends is difficult. You can, especially like in Malta, there's a lot of people here, but it's a city, at the end of the day. So it can feel very lonely as well as quite populous at the same time.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've just got to meet a lot of cool new people, which is nice, and it's part of my job. And as a result, I get to work with them as well.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, no?
I think so.
Yeah, it's nice. What's one thing about your job that people might find surprising?
Surprising about my job. That's fully remote, I guess. I suppose every time I speak to someone and tell them that, they're always like, "Oh my God, really? That's amazing,"
Yeah. Does it make it harder for you, to keep relationship with the clients that are not here in Malta?
No, not at all. I'll meet them at Sigma, the ones that will go.
Yeah.
If not, I'll meet them at ICE or IGB. Some don't go at all, so I have to rely on just Skype and Slack to meet them as well, which is unfortunate, as I never get to put a face to them really and sort of break that barrier, relationship barrier. It's always professional, it feels like. That's the most part. I think working from home, fully remote, is fantastic as well.
Yeah.
But you really have to be disciplined, Like sometimes you wake up and you're just tempted to stay in your pajamas and jump on the laptop. I'm sure most people do that, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I have to make sure I get into a pair of trousers and a new T-shirt at least.
Yeah.
Just to, maintain a little bit of professionality. If you're not driving to work, at least you're still going to work,
So, for example, if you ever see me in a Popeye T-shirt, Popeye Village, that's my pajamas here, bro.
So I know. I'll tell you off when I see you.
Don't call me out on that one, though.
Get your shit together, Ivan.
If you weren't in iGaming, what industry would you want to work in?
Fantastic. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Really?
I always read like John Grisham. I always watch a lot of courtroom dramas. I've always wanted to say I object to a judge. That's something I've always wanted to do. I wanted to pursue it as well in secondary school, but as soon as I joined, I chose German as a subject, and and then the counselor says, "What do you want to do?" And I says, "I want to be a lawyer." And she goes, "Well, you had to choose Italian. Did no one tell you that? Because a lot of our old laws are written in Italian, so you need that." Yeah, so I'm like, no one told me. Well, it's too late now.
Wow.
Yeah, so that one quickly bowls.
I would never put you in as no disrespect.
What do you mean? Is it the mullet?
I object. No, I was thinking like we would say, I don't know, a sports car driver, I don't know, race car driver.
Race car, yeah. I mean, we go go-karting a lot, me and my friends.
Really?
And my wife's brothers.
There is that in Malta?
Up in Halfar. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, you can put your phone on it and it will track your lap time and it'll tell you, like F1, if you're minus or plus on your lap time.
Really?
Yeah.
Would I fit?
No, I just about fit. Yeah.
I'll come with my Mazda though. Same thing, no?
Yes, I'll lend you the bike, the moped.
Fair enough. Okay, so for the final question, any advice for the new account managers coming into the industry? Juniors, let's say.
Juniors, account managers. I think for the most part, be open-minded, be humane about everything. Yes, it is a job. You don't have to take it too seriously. You obviously have to come into work, you have to do your job, but at the same time, just be a human to people. Treat them the way they want to be treated. Work really hard, and you'll see yourself climbing up the corporate ladder very quickly.
Yeah.
Do a lot of research, take an interest. If it interests you, crack on. If it doesn't, find something else to do, Exactly. Be happy.
Yeah. That's a good advice, no?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Hopefully so.
Do you object? Well, Jake, thank you for for your time.
Pleasure.
It's been really interesting to hear from this side of the business as well, especially for me, that got into it for a reason, obviously, because I was on the other side before. So it's fun to hear about this, and I believe for people that are going to be watching as well, make sure to follow us on our social media, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Billy, what else?
X.
Twitter. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode.